Undertaker number 345/12 subsection 3 reporting. I'm scared, Chief.
Yes, I know.
Who are you?
Well, the Kangs! Red Kangs! Who exactly are you?
The name is Pex.
I am the chief caretaker. And I am. No need to tell me, I know who you are.
This is the great architect return to Paradise Towers. Bid him welcome. All hail the great architect. All hail the great architect.
Kill him.
I don't know what you're so pleased about. There's a 327 Appendix 3, subsection 9, death waiting for you.
There is no cause for panic.
No cause for panic.
No.
No cause for panic?
No.
Rules are rules, orders are orders.
The 327 Appendix 3, subsection 9, death of the great architect must take place.
There's nothing quite like tea and crumpets, is there?
I think it'd be a very good idea if before you're dead, you and I had a nice little Regulation 13, Appendix 2, final conversation.
The Sylvester McCoy adventure, Paradise Towers. Interesting in that promo they actually try and avoid as much as possible showing the robots.
Understandable.
I don't understand why. They were amazing robots. I thought the one in the pool was really cuddly.
The lobster robot.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think I've got a picture of the lobster robot here actually.
Yeah.
Now that would have been quite a cool pet, that lobster robot.
Assisting children's swimming lessons since, yeah.
And attacking Bonnie Langford. I mean, what more do you need in a pet?
Exactly.
I remember when this was originally broadcast. You're too young, I think.
It was 87, so you wouldn't. I think my first, as much as Sylvester McCoy is my doctor, first one I actually saw was Curse of Friend. Oh, one episode of Curse of Friend,
Right.
but I was a overly nervous 8-year-old and thus didn't watch it again for years. But no, I think
Fenric
that's
is scary.
Oh yes, particularly the first episode when you're 8. But I actually only first sort of watched this one for the first time. This is the only McCoy I hadn't seen until this year.
Oh, okay.
And I got it on the DVD
Yeah.
and I finally got to watch it. And I know it hasn't got a very good reputation, but I don't think it's quite as bad as.
You know what?
indicate.
I think all McCoy stories just need to be reassessed by people because
Very
there's
much
such bad reputation, but actually they're really enjoyable.
I mean, I'll say, like I said, Sylvester McCoy is my doctor as far as
Yeah.
it's one of my absolute favourite eras, particularly Series 25 and 26. I think
Yes.
are fantastic. Series 24, Time they're on is awful, but I think the other stories aren't.
They're not that bad, and I'm going to say that I don't think Mel is as bad as people say either. There are horrible moments of her screaming many times, which could easily be cut out, but actually her character herself is actually okay. She's an intelligent woman.
We were having this conversation, weren't we? Because you're not a fan. It might be because I suggested that Mel in many ways paved the way for Amy Pond, in that she met the Doctor out of sync and in the timey-wimey way, and she's red-headed. That was admittedly about it, but it was just to wind you up. For 80s companions, until she came along and then Ace afterwards, no one really seemed to enjoy travelling with the Doctor that much. I mean,
Yes.
I never understood why Perry stayed with the Doctor, because they just hated each other up until except for the first story of Trial
And
of
she
the Time
really
Lord.
thought she was going to die every single week.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, probably from the Doctor as well. You know, it wasn't even like they'd be threatened. It was just hanging out with him was dangerous enough. But yeah, I think on paper Mel's actually quite a good companion. I just think it was an awkward time for the show.
Obviously, there was a lot of focus on it. You know, BBC deciding whether they should keep this going. It was considered to be a cartoon type show instead of a drama series. And Bonnie Langford, I guess, just being the fact that she was Bonnie Langford, somehow embodied the cartoonness.
Yeah, I mean, she's perhaps the companion with the most baggage.
Yes.
Apart from actually Catherine Tate.
She was too well known.
Like similar when Catherine Tate came along, she came with all this baggage, and Bonnie Langford was the same problem. Where usually I think companions before had been not that well known.
You'd never seen them before.
Pretty unheard of. Yeah. So I mean, it was a very John Nathan Turner-esque thing to get someone that well known in to boost, but I think it did backfire.
It backfired, yeah.
I just don't think that Mel worked particularly well against Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. It's especially retrospectively knowing the type of person he would become. Paradise Towers, obviously, it was his first proper, episode after Time the Rani.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still getting the grip of the character there, but yeah, she's just. You're right. She's too much like Bonnie Langford, and she has appalling dress sense. Appalling.
Would you like to say something about her outfit in Paradise Towers?
Yeah, it was appalling. It was really bad. I mean, it's seriously up there as one of my top contenders for bad things that companions have worn, and believe me, I have a list.
But the storyline wise of Paradise Towers, what do you think? I mean, this is a dystopian, futuristic.
I think the setting and the ideas behind the story are brilliant.
Yes.
I love them. I love this idea of like this world, this place has become so cut off to the world. It's developed its own culture and its own gangs and its own language, and I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, that was an interesting part. Is actually the language, because you could imagine kids probably going, "What the hell are they talking about? I don't understand any of these words." But it was a sort of Clockwork Orange style tribute, I suppose. And
there's this odd streak of almost black humour that's in there that doesn't perhaps quite get brought out. Like even like the residents are going to eat meat. The cannibals.
Yes, yeah, they're cannibals. Yeah.
It almost seems so light and fluffy. It almost doesn't register perhaps as much as it should.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the ideas behind the story, and I've got no problem with the dialogue, and I like language. It just doesn't quite click, I think. I mean, it's always interesting seeing Sylvester, I think, in these very early days when he hasn't quite worked out what he's doing with the character of the Doctor. And so it's almost a bit weird seeing him being almost light and comical. You think he's got some master plan, but he really is just making it up as he goes along.
Sure. In fact, this would actually be a great setting if they brought the Doctor back there with Matt Smith, of an episode written by like Mark Gatiss. Mm-hmm. You could imagine he would actually go to town with these types of characters. Yeah. They're very sort of League of Gentlemen kind of world, isn't it?
This is the thing, and actually I said to Adam the other day, and I think it applies to a lot of 80s Who, is that a lot of the concepts, you could take them, dust them down just a little, and rewrite them for the modern series, and you wouldn't know the difference. They're still fantastic concepts that really stand up, and I do like the base concept behind Paradise Towers a lot. I think it's fantastic. I just think that the execution of it, for all the reasons you listed before, it obviously suffers.
The cleaners, the robots, are disappointing because actually they don't seem to have progressed since the War Machines.
No, that's right. Robot, I never thought of that, but you're right. They actually look a little bit like War Machines as well, and it's a very similar.
It's like, but there's been 20 odd years, and somehow the special effects department can't work out a better way to do a robot.
Unfortunately, I don't think they'd increased the budget since the War Machines, maybe, or it was back to that level. I will actually say one thing about this episode. A lot of people say Richard Briers is absolutely terrible. I would argue he's really good for the first 3 episodes, because he's playing the part as it can only really be played, which is that kind of the ultimate jobs-worthy, fussy, don't step on the grass official, and he plays that pitch perfect.
With a Hitler moustache.
Yeah, with a Hitler moustache. And
little Hitler.
Then it's in the 4th part where he becomes possessed by, is it Coragnon, the architect? Or Conan, the architect.
Yeah, the architect,
yeah. And he's just, it becomes like a kid acting like an evil zombie, and I do think it falls apart there. I mean, and that is one thing actually, thinking about the brain in the basement, that irritated me a little bit, is you'd never know why his character's feeding it bodies, because he obviously doesn't know it's the architect.
Yeah.
Because he's got to kill the Doctor because he thinks he's the architect, but he's never explained how it's a major plot hole, and it would only take perhaps a couple of lines to fill it up. But you're just like, well, why are you doing this? It's never explained.
Let's see if there's anyone in the chat room. Idbas, I think it's hard at times to look back on the older Who with modern viewer expectations, given development in special effects, funding for scenery, etc.
Yes, absolutely. We were pointing out the fact that this amazing pool that Bonnie Langford was so desperate to get to out of everywhere in all the universe just looked very much like a very typical outdoor pool.
But wasn't that the point?
Do you think so?
Because Paradise Towers was supposed to be this amazing place, and of course it wasn't. The reputation of it had preceded the reality.
That's
I hadn't actually thought of it like that. I just assumed that the pool was supposed to be
one
amazing.
Of the reasons why he brought her there, because it was supposed to be this amazing place to visit.
Well, the impression that I got is that it actually was amazing, except that it had become very run down over time, just through neglect. I get the impression that actually it probably the pool was supposed to be very good, because when Mel does come upon it, and she's like, "Oh, it's lovely," and she doesn't seem disappointed. So.
But she can't seem to notice a yellow lobster
robot. You'd think it would have stood out in the blue water, this giant yellow robot, and it's just like it sneaks up on her somehow. Maybe the Doctor only chose colourblind companions. I'm not sure, but
Well, yeah, it would explain a lot about her outfit.
you really hate that outfit. It is a horrible outfit. It's up there with Perry's pink leotard in Attack of the Cybermen, I think. For your taste listeners.
Really?
They're both pretty tasteless. Maybe actually Perry's is slightly worse than
I mean,
that.
Perry had the advantage of having, I guess, a figure for a figure-hugging outfit.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
There's actually a DVD extra on this, which I thought seems on the wrong disc, because it's called Girls, 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 and it's like the 80s female companions.
Yeah, that's a quick look at that.
And it's an interview between Sophie Aldred, Nissa, and Tegan. But it's like, well, Bonnie Langford's not even in
yeah.
it, so why didn't they just... There are still Ace episodes still to be released.
Yeah,
How come they didn't hold it back for that one? It kind of seemed...
I guess
but it was
maybe
quite
it was
fascinating,
room or
because
something.
it's amazing how Janet Fielding seems to actually really
hate
everything she ever did.
She's got a real reputation for this. I very rarely listen to commentaries, but by all accounts, in fact, I think it was Radio Free Skaro that described her as the Antichrist on commentaries, because she just sits there going rubbish, 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 bad, rubbish. I mean, and this is it. It gets to the point where I'm like, I can understand you've got a few complaints about what you did, but this program is still remembered. People still watch it. It wasn't kind of been all bad.
Also the fact that if she goes to places for signings, there are fans who want her to pay her for autographs. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, give them something.
Yeah.
Other than just like it was all rubbish. I hated it.
Yeah, and it's just like you just get a bit bored of that. I mean, it's the same if you ever see Eric Saywood interviewed. He's always just like, "This was terrible. That was terrible." John Nathan Turner was responsible for everything that went wrong in my life. And it's a bit like, I'm really bored of seeing you interviewed and saying these things. I think at least you get someone like Andrew Cartmel. And he will admit there are faults and things like he does on the making of.
But he has the pride as well.
But he's quite proud of what he's done, and he will defend what he did. And you feel he still looks back at it with pride, and that's quite nice to see. Because he's not blind to the faults, but he'll defend it, and that's nice. Whether certain mid-80s Doctor Who people are just like, no, it was the worst thing ever. You're just like, I don't really want to see this. It's really depressing.
Well, I think that I could potentially see how you could be quite bitter about leaving a programme like Doctor Who. And then mostly being remembered for Doctor Who, and yes.
But there are so many actors who don't get remembered for anything.
Yes,
this is always my
true.
point. I mean,
it's a great point.
I work in theatre, and you see so many actors who they're great, but then unless they get that one role, no one is going to remember them in 50 years' time. But if you're something like this, I can appreciate how it must be frustrating, but at the same time, you're not going to be forgotten. Your stuff's always going to be on DVD and on the internet. And you've kind of achieved a basic nerd immortality, which is going to count for something.